So what if I told you, your biggest enemy, what if I told you your biggest enemy is your mind, right? Next point is what? They have been controlling your attention without even noticing. You know what? This is why you can't focus, and no one, told you the real reason behind of it, right? You are not distracted, my friend. You are not distracted. You are being hijacked. Here is, how to take back control, right? So the truth about distraction, they don't want to know you. I mean to say, the truth behind about distraction, they don't want you to know, right? Okay, so is your life being stolen? One notification at a time. You think that, you have free will. You think you have free will. Wait until you hear this. You are not crazy. You are not crazy. The system is rigged against your focus. Why you keep getting distracted even when you don't want to, right? So that one book that could make you unstoppable, that one book that can make you unstoppable, if you can stay focused long enough to hear this. So here I have a book summary, Indistractable, right? This is a book. The name of the book is Indistractable, right? So this is the book summary, that how to control your attention and choose your life. The name of the author is Eyal. So in an age where constant digital distraction, have become the norm, Indistractable by Eyal, emerges as a timely and essential guide, to mastering, attention, and obviously reclaiming time and living with intention, written with both practical insight and obviously psychological depth. This book often offers a framework that is especially valuable not for today's youth who are growing up in a world dominated by notification, social media, and endless content consumption. So the purpose of the book is what? Purpose of the book is Eyal's primary object in Indistractable is to help individuals, take control to their attention, take control of their attention rather than be controlling by it. Unlike traditional time management books, this work dives deeper into the psychological of distraction, revealing that the root cause often lies not in external stimuli but with ourselves. The book challenges readers to just identify the real reasons behind their lack of focus, and obviously equips them with actionable strategies to regain control, right? So the key concept and the takeaways. First is what here? Distraction versus fraction, right? So Eyal introduces a foundation, distraction versus fraction. So Eyal, the name of the author, right? Eyal introduces a foundation concept, the difference between distraction and traction. So traction moves you towards what you really want. Distraction is what pulls you away from your goals. Understanding this distinction helps readers make intentional decisions about how they spend their time. Scrolling through Instagram, for instance, isn't necessarily bad. It's bad if it's aligned with your values and done intentionally. The danger lies in mindless uses that obviously derails you from meaningful tasks, right? So the next point is what? The root of distraction: internal triggers. Many believes that distractions are mainly caused by external sources like phones and noisy environments. However, here Eyal argues that most distractions begin internally, through uncomfortable emotional states like here boredom, stress, anxiety, loneliness, or even the desire for novelty. These inner triggers leads us to seek quick relief through distraction. Youth insight is what here, that for students or for you, for young, for students or for young professionals, it's important to recognize when you are reaching for your phone, switching tabs during study, not because of necessity, but because you are trying to escape a discomforting emotions, like fear of failure or frustration. Learning to sit with those feelings and manage them consecutively is key to becoming indestructible, right? Next point is what, the point number 3 is time management is pain management, right? Time management is obviously a pain management, right? So this powerful idea reinforces the connection between motion and behaviors, right? So if you can learn to identify and tolerate uncomfortable internal triggers without giving into distraction, you are already on your way to becoming indestructible, right? So Eyal, the author of the book, Eyal introduces techniques like mindfulness, journaling, and obviously surfing an urge, delaying action on impulses to help cope with such triggers. Okay, next point is what, make time what you matters. Make time for what matters actually. Okay, make time for what matters actually. Instead of reactive living, Eyal encourages time boxing, a strategy of obviously scheduling every part of your day, including breaks and leisure, right? This helps you commit to both work and rest, intentionally reducing the risk of distraction, right? So here youth insight. So what's the youth insight here? That whether you are student trying to balance school and hobbies, or a content creator managing side projects, right? Time boxing and gives structures to your daily, preventing guilt over how you spend times and eliminating open time, right? That often gets wasted. Point number 5 is hack back external triggers. Phones, emails, notification, even colleagues, right, can pull us away from our goals, right? Eyal, the author of the book, provides practical ways to hack back these triggers. So turn off non-essential notification. Just turn off non-essential notification. Create separate devices or environments for work and leisure. Use technology to your advantage, not against it, right? Point number 6 is what, prevent distraction with pacts, right? Pre-commitment is a obviously powerful tool, right? By making a promise, either to yourself or others, you create a psychological and social incentive to stay focused. These pacts could be what, like effort pacts that we call uninstalling distractions apps from your phone. Price pacts is what example, like betting money on following through with your goals, right? Identify pacts is what example, telling yourself I am indestructible and living accordingly, right? Point number 7 is what, the power of identity. One of the most profound lessons of the book is this, that your behavior follows your identity. If you identify yourself as someone who is easily distracted, you will act accordingly, right? But if you begin to see yourself as someone who is in control of your time and attention, your behaviors will align with that belief, right? So youth insight is what here, that by shaping your identity around focus, discipline, and purpose, you develop habits that support success not only in academics or career, but in relationships, health, and creativity too, right? So here, why this book matters for youth, right? So the youth of today face unprecedented, right, levels of distraction, from endless social media feeds to online games and multitasking pressures. Youth people often find it difficult to focus on what truly matters. So Indistractable isn't about shaming technology uses, right? It's about using it wisely, just understanding your habits and designing a life that aligns with your goals. Whether you are a student, aspiring entrepreneur, artist, or simply someone trying to make the most of your potential, this book can help you a lot. So reclaim of your day, improve your mental clarity and emotional health, strengthen relationships, of being fully present, right? So build a future based on deliberate choices, not impulsive distraction, right? So the conclusion of the point is what here, that Indistractable, the name of the book and the author Eyal, is more than just a productivity manual. It's a philosophy of mindful living. It teaches you how to break free from the cycles of impulsive behaviors, reduce stress causes by scattering attention to take meaningful steps toward the life you truly want. This book is especially relevant of today's youth, right? The youth federation, right? So who are navigating a hyper connected world, and need tools to stay focused, intentional and emotional resilient, right? So by applying this principle, this book, obviously young readers can gain a critical age in their personal, academic and professional lives, right? Learning not just how to manage time but how to manage themselves. So key insights from Indistractable, how to control your attention and choose your life. So the author of the book, that the name is Eyal, Indistractable, the name of the book. Behavioral, right, design expert by Eyal, presents a deep and actionable exploration of why we get distracted, and what triggers our attention shifts, and how we can regain control of our time and lives. Below is a detailed professional breakdown of the book's core concepts, right, designed especially of obviously young individuals navigating a world full of digital noise and constant demands of attention. The first point is understanding internal and external triggers, right? So one of the foundational principles of Indistractable is distinguishing between internal and external triggers that lead to distraction, right? So internal triggers originate from within us. These include emotional states such as boredom, anxiety, stress, loneliness, fatigue, or the constant need for novelty and instant gratification. When we feel discomfort, we often seek distraction as a coping mechanism to escape these feelings. So external triggers are cues in our environment, that prompt us to shift our attention. So this include smartphone notification, pop-up message, emails, loud noises, or the presence of distraction websites and apps, right, applications. So Eyal, encourages readers to become aware of both types of triggers, by identifying what precedes a distraction. We can start to understand what true cause of our behaviors rather than just treating the symptoms, right? So next point is what? Developing a healthy response to internal triggers, right? So here, contrary to the idea of avoiding internal discomfort, right? So Eyal recommends expanding our ability to manage it. The book teaches readers to become more resilient in the face of challenging emotions rather than escaping into distraction. This can be done by reframing tasks to make them more engaging and less daunting, identifying emotional patterns that lead to procrastinations or avoidance, using mindfulness techniques to recognize urges without acting on them immediately, right? So for young people, students, creators and professionals alike, learning to sit with discomfort rather than escape into distractions is a valuable life skill that leads to higher focus, better results, that we call the better consequences, and emotional maturity. Next point number third is what? Making more time for traction, right? So Eyal defines traction as any action, right, that moves you toward your values and goals. So in contrast, distraction moves you away from them, right? Both stem from the same root, right, action, but with opposing consequences. So to create more time, more time for traction, schedule your daily intentionally, including time for work, rest, right, relationship, learning, and even entertainment. So time box tasks, so that each moment has a purpose, right? Reflect on your core values and endure, core values, and ensure your daily tasks are aligned with them, right? So here, this intentional planning approach helps young individuals, build a structure into their lives, eliminate wasted time, and ensure they are, progressing towards long-term goals. Point number 4 is what? Creating effort and price pacts to stay accountable. One of the book's most practical strategies is the use of pre-commitment techniques, or pacts, to resist distraction and follow through on your intentions. These include here, effort pacts. These involve adding friction, to here, undesired behaviors. For example, here, uninstalling social media apps, from your phone, or using websites blockers to prevent access during work hours. The additional effort discourages impulsive distractions. So the price pacts, this introduce a financial and social cost of distraction. For example, here, committing to donate a certain amount of money to a cause you dislike. If you fail to meet your focus goals, the cost creates an incentive to stay disciplined. So these psychological contracts obviously are highly effective, in holding yourself accountable, especially when self-control feels weak, for young people who struggle with procrastination or digital overuse. These pacts can obviously create strong boundaries and drive behavioral change. Point number 5 is what? Eliminating, external triggers. While internal triggers, require, emotional awareness, external triggers demand, environmental design. Eyal emphasizes the need to hack back, distractions in your surroundings. So to do this, turn off unnecessary notification across devices. Whatever is happening, just turn off. Remove distraction app, that we call the application, from your home screen, and use focus tools like app blockers. Create dedicated work spaces that signal focus time and reduce interruptions, right? Obviously communicate boundaries to friends or family to minimize external disruption, right? So designing your environment to support deep work is especially important for a student and obviously professionals who must operate in high distraction zone like home, classrooms, and open offices, right? So point number 6 is what? Rethinking willpowers as a finite resources. Many people believe that willpower is something you either have and don't have, right? Many people believe that willpower is something you either have or you don't have, right? That is run out like fuel. So Eyal, the author of the book, challenges this outdated belief, right? He presents research showing that our ability to resist distractions is heavily influenced by our mindset, not just biology. Right. So according to the book, if you believe your willpower is limited, you are more likely to give in when things get hard, right? But if you adopt a growth mindset, obviously you can train your brain to become more resilient and focused over time. So this shift is critical for young readers, rather than obviously blaming a lack of focus and laziness of lack of motivation. Indistractable encourages the development of flexible, mindset that views self-control as a skill, that can be strengthened, with intention and practices. Right. So the conclusion of the point is creating a life that aligns with your goals. Ultimately, Indistractable is not about perfection. It is about progress and awareness. Neil Eyal, does not even, promise a distraction-free life, but rather than life, where you are in control of your attention. Not the other way around. By understanding the psychology roots of distraction, eliminating external triggers, and creating systems of accountability, you can obviously craft a lifestyle that honors your values and ambitions. So for today's youth who face overwhelming stimuli, rapid changes in technology, right, and constant social pressure, this book provides a framework to regain ownership of this, right, mental clarity and obviously personal growth. So by applying this principle, you will stay better and faster. You will create more meaningful relationships. You will find more satisfaction in your work passion. Most importantly, you will live with intention, purpose and confidence, right? So this is what about the book. I hope you like it. So yeah.